Hey, this is Joel from South Dakota. A couple years ago, I decided to try to update some of my backup emergency electricity. I've had generators over the years and they work great. Some of them were kind of small, but if we had an outage and it's the middle of a storm in South Dakota, some of you might attest to, you need some power. Now, as far as our heat, we have outdoor wood stove, so we've got the heat burning out there, but you have to have electricity to get the pumps to operate, get the water moved and circulated and so forth. And of course, then you have fans in the heat exchangers. So even though we're kind of self-sufficient as far as firewood, heat, we still needed a way to circulate things, and that's where you need the backup power. Well, the generators are fine. If it's a terrible storm and it's terribly cold, the guy doesn't really feel like going outside to start the motors up. And of course, if it's really cold, it, kind of a toss of a coin whether the thing's even going to start. So I decided to look into the solar and solar backup. Well, I did some pricing. I went to a local solar dealer and looked like a really upstanding company, and I believe they are. And so I got a bid. Well, the bid for our house, which they call it a whole house, it was, I think, rated at around 17,000 kilowatts, something like that. Probably a little small for our house. It's a pretty good sized house. Actually a duplex now. We've divided it and have two families living here. So even for our half, it would have been kind of touch and go. But anyway, what kind of stalled the whole project was the price quoted was, I think, around $44,000. And that was quite a bit more than I was hoping to spend. And so I started searching the YouTube channels and so forth, and came across David Gilmore from Idaho, and he explained his system that he sells, the Mango Power E system, and kind of showed how it worked for him. So I thought, well, I'm going to check into that. I called him, spent probably a good hour on the phone, which I guess impressed me off the top, because come to find out he's a pretty big dealer with them, and he took the time though. He took the time to explain it all, so really appreciated that. Long story short, as I ended up getting the system, purchased some, I guess you call it third-party panels. Got some used panels. They work fine. I installed them. That's kind of a trick. You really have to do your research. I have had electrical license in the past, so I got a little bit of knowledge, but that can be a dangerous thing. So I consulted a lot of sources to make sure I got the panels hooked up right. You got to be in a certain parameter as far as wattage, amperage, voltage, and so forth. But got to figure it out, and I got the system hooked up. And much to my surprise, it worked the first time. So got the thing going, and I'll get some pictures of it here in a little bit, but I just wanted to share that part of the story. Of course, in the couple months since that, and of course they were back ordered when I bought them. There's been such a demand for them, and thankfully they got in, and I got my units. And I bought the two sets. It's a package that was offered, and it's two of the basic units, and then each of them has the auxiliary battery pack, which turns out gives me about I think 14,000 kilowatts, which is pretty close to what was being estimated for a whole house system that I had looked at. The cost, however, ended up being about a third of what it would have cost if I had gone with the contractors that had bid me this price. And I'm not saying they were out of line for what they were offering and so forth either. I'm just saying I saved a ton of money by doing that. And so far so good. I've had it hooked up now for I suppose about a month or so. And the only possible glitch, I went and called the actual technical service with the company itself, and that to me was kind of a test as well. Yeah, you've got your dealer, and the dealer said, David said, go ahead and call anytime you need information or need some help with something, which I appreciate. But I really wanted to see how the company would respond with tech service. Well, I immediately was contacted back by Chris in technical, and he has since contacted me several times. And one little glitch I found was that one of the units would shut down and give me an indication about something with the power output. And I called him. He he got back to me very quickly and said, "Here, we need to reboot the system." He told me how to do that. So far, it hasn't happened again. So you know, the good, the bad, and the beautiful, I guess, in this case. Very simple fix, and it's been running smoothly ever since. So, and we're not off grid. Basically, we're still hooked up to the grid. We still use grid power. I have not tied in any way to the grid. And in fact, I don't even charge the units with the grid. I charge the units totally with solar. And so that has been just a real challenge to see, you know, how that's going to work. I'm not planning to go off grid, but I just want to make sure the system's working properly. Plus, anything I use solar is just something I'm not running on the grid, and so it saves me some money. And again, so far, we're basically running a few lights, freezer, refrigerator, fan, just some kind of the basic things you need. And obviously it's summertime, so I haven't hooked up the stove to it yet, but that really doesn't take much power. I'm not worried about that at all. And so far, even without the auxiliary batteries, it'll charge up during the day. Of course, it's summer, get good sunlight and so forth, but it'll charge up fully during the day, stay charged all day, and it'll make it through the night very easily. With the auxiliary packs, I don't know, I'm guessing I can go 2-3 days even without sunlight at the rate they're going. It'll give you on the screen, which is amazing. It'll give you the estimated time left at the current draw and so forth. And a lot of times it'll be up, you know, 30 hours plus. So that's been my experience so far. I'm going to take it down in the basement where we have the units, kind of show you how we're hooked up there, and give you a little more information. Here's my units. Getting a little glare. I've got a light source coming in, a window above one of them. Here's the two units stacked together. I'm running in with solar here, coming from up on the roof, and I actually have flexible conduit. Coming down, I have two complete sets of solar panels, one for each unit. Those come down and hook up with the connectors here that came with the unit, going into the solar input. I had a issue here getting the other one stacked the way I wanted this stacked. It was not quite tall enough, so you can just set it beside. And so the auxiliary battery pack is over there in the corner. Again, you just take the cord, plug it in. It all automatically interfaces. And you know, that's one of the things I appreciated too. Even though I've had a little bit of electrical background, I'm no genius, and basically it's plug and play. You just plug everything in, all of the wiring, even up with the solar panels, that's all pretty much standardized. Even though I got a different brand of solar panels, all of the connectors matched and worked. The Y connectors I needed then to hook up first in series and then in parallel, all of that good stuff. Got them all hooked up, no problem. Like I say, literally plugged it in, turned it on, and it immediately worked. So I guess that's almost a rare thing. A lot of times it can be kind of complicated getting some of this stuff set up. For now, I've just run some lines over to the outlets that I need so that I can run the freezer, run the refrigerator, run some lights and so forth. So that's pretty much the story. I can't really say enough about how simple everything was. I guess the only, you know, if there was any frustration, it was the fact that these things are selling so well that there was quite a backlog, and so it was back ordered. My shipments got delayed, but actually they were delayed, I suppose, a month or two, but they even compensated for that because the sale that had been offered was running out, barely caught it, and then they had actually extended the sale price because of the backlog. So all worked out, you know, all's well that ends well. Worked out that I got the the discounted sale price and so forth. So really appreciated that. And again, thanks a lot. That's my story.